Farmer's daughter outsmarts arrogant CEO in job interview. What she reveals shocks everyone. Rain poured relentlessly as Emma Carter stepped into the glass tower of Lexington, her boots still muddy from the family farm. The security guard gave her a curious glance. Her plain dress, worn leather satchel, and calloused hands starkly contrasted with the sleek, suit-clad candidates waiting beside her. But Emma held her head high. She wasn't there to impress with fashion. She was there with something far more powerful, truth. Inside the conference room, she was greeted by Alan Royce, the famously brash CEO known for turning startups into empires, and for publicly mocking small-town thinkers. He didn't rise to shake her hand. "So," he said, barely glancing up, "a farmer's daughter wants to run corporate strategy. That's bold." The other executives chuckled, but Emma just smiled. "Yes," she replied calmly. "And I believe that's exactly the kind of thinking you need." Alan smirked. "Tell me, Miss Carter, what makes you think you're smarter than the top MBAs I've already interviewed?" Emma paused, then opened her satchel and pulled out a crumpled notebook filled with handwritten charts and diagrams. "Because while they studied theory, I lived reality. When my father fell ill, I ran a 300-acre farm, negotiated supply contracts, pivoted to direct-to-consumer sales, and kept 6 families employed, during a drought and a pandemic. I didn't read case studies, I wrote them with my own hands." Alan leaned back, eyebrow raised. "And what would you do if a supplier backed out of $1 million deal overnight? Call the driver who delivered our feed for 10 years and ask who else is reliable. Then call the competition and offer a mutually beneficial deal before panic sets in. Then send a thank you basket to the supplier who backed out. You never know when you'll need a bridge you didn't burn." The room fell silent. But Emma wasn't done. She leaned in, eyes steady. "You think strategy is about numbers and speed. I think it's about people and grit. My father taught me that you never take more than you give. So if this company needs someone who knows how to harvest loyalty, resilience, and long-term value, then yes, I'm your girl." Alan stared at her, the bravado slowly fading from his face. Then, to everyone's surprise, he asked, "What happened to your father?" Emma's voice softened. "He passed last winter. Heart failure. I promised him I'd do something that mattered. That I'd bring small-town values to a big world that's forgotten them." There was a long pause before Alan stood and extended his hand. "Welcome to Lexington, Miss Carter." Months later, Emma didn't just transform company strategy, she transformed its soul. Employees spoke of the new culture of compassion and purpose. Revenues soared, yes, but so did morale, community outreach, and trust. And all because one muddy-booted farmer's daughter walked into a glass tower and reminded them all, heart matters more than polish, and sometimes, the smartest person in the room is the one who's walked through the most dirt.